Once again, it's on, y'all. In the words of Naughty by Nature, I must say we are here. This is the Remix Morning Show, and Black Power Media. In case you didn't know, I go by the name of the Ear Doctor, and we are here for you on this Tuesday of December the 12th, and we got a great show for y'all. So let me bring up our hosts. We got no other than Dr. Jared Ball. Yeah.
What's up, everybody? What's up, Ear Doctor? How you feeling?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm nice and warm right now, as you can see. I got my leather on, my hoodie on. I'm headed out the door in about 5 minutes to go take my kids to Barbados. I'm not going, but they going. Never been.
But they're going. And again, that's what I was saying off air. That's love, man.
Yeah.
We give our children the lives we never had.
Man, I can't wait to go to Barbados and just see the flying fish, the blue waters, the sand.
Yeah. I don't think I've been to Barbados. Colonialism at its finest.
Word. You know what? Something don't feel right.
What don't feel right?
It don't feel right without.
Don't feel right.
Without Kim
Mumu
Brown.
Fresh got a Grammy.
Good morning.
Good morning. Mumu Fresh got a Grammy nomination for that song.
Oh, really? On Roots album?
Yeah, that's her singing that hook.
Yeah.
Something don't feel right, don't feel right. Something.
Yeah, that's the joint. That was off that Tipping Point, I think.
I think so.
Yeah. Kim, what's good?
Cold chillin'. What's going on with y'all brothers this morning? Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday to you.
Likewise, indeed. Yeah,
you guys are all spry and chipper.
Well, I'm dog sitting, so I had to get up this morning and go walk the dog. So.
All right. What kind of dog you sitting?
Represent. Woo.
Pit bull.
Hey, how old?
2-3 years.
Oh, it's a baby still. Male or female?
Female.
Oh.
Yeah, Angelica.
Oh, I'm sure she is a little angel.
Yeah, that's what they call her.
Yes. Well, very nice of you. Good on you to be a trusted dog sitter.
Yeah, you know, I do what I can when I can. You know, I'm gonna miss my kids, but I'm sure they'll have a great time with their grandma.
Oh, that's right. The kids done dip. They done bounce.
Well, I'm leaving in about a couple minutes to go take them to the airport.
Lovely. Oh, I know they're gonna have a fantastic time.
Yeah, they better.
I wish my heritage stretched someplace tropical and beautiful like Barbados. My shit just goes to Central Virginia and Arkansas.
We gotta have a discussion. Why all of the guys on here marry women from other countries?
All of the guys. Okay.
Did all of us? Yeah.
Are they all from different countries, or they have heritage stemming from different countries?
I mean, my wife was, she was born in Panama.
Ethiopia. In Barbados.
But that's in Barbados.
Why don't y'all just say y'all don't like black American women?
I think that's what we was getting to.
Why don't you just say that y'all
black
don't
woman
like black American
mentality.
Women? Just say that.
I didn't say that. I
I'm just playing. I know you did. So I'm just fucking with you.
No, I'm just saying.
It's just observation. Oh, you are just saying, aren't you, Ear Doctor?
Am I?
Are you?
I mean, it is interesting, and there's this is actually a bigger conversation. I'm not entirely sure how big or how much it's openly discussed, but it is a pretty big conversation, and I think a fascinating one. And I actually wouldn't mind a deep exploration of it at some point, but it is.
Hey, listen, if I can help somebody get their green card, why not? You know
wow.
So to me, it's not deep because I'm from Howard County, Maryland. So the fact that y'all all married black women is a step in the right direction. It's like, they from where? Who cares? They black. What difference does it make where they came? They black women. Y'all had options out here, and y'all didn't have to opt into the black woman. You know what I'm saying? But you did.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Hey, Jared, they say your mic is a little loud.
I know. I see that.
Kim, is your mic plugged in regularly? It sounds like it is, but it could be up a little bit. I don't know.
Oh, it's hot. I'm coming in hot.
Nah, not at all.
I'm coming
I
in low.
didn't hear it, but I've heard this is been a thing lately for me. Let's see here.
Maybe you just talking in your quiet storm voice, Jared. I think that's what it is.
He do got the quiet
What-
storm
You know what I'm
voice.
saying?
Does that make a difference?
That
Softly.
yeah, you're a
And
little
let's
lower.
see.
You're a little lower now.
What is that?
All right.
do?
With that said, y'all have a great show. I am out of here.
All right, what about that there? Does that setting work?
Quiet as
that
when
works.
flowers talk at break.
Oh no, the
of
mic. This
dawn.
does the gain. Okay, wait. Let me leave it there.
Oh, there we
Oh,
go.
there we go. Hit the gain.
Okay.
There it
Cut the
is.
gain down a little bit. There we go.
All right, y'all have a great show. Peace.
All right. Thanks. Yeah,
Peace.
Doctor. Yeah, he's leaving us. We being left. I thought Kamal was showing up today,
He
but he
might.
may be on his way. He might still.
He still got some time.
But we do have Sister Erica laced us with a bunch of stories,
Oh, nice.
and not that I've seen them, so we'll be first reading.
It'll be a surprise to us all.
surprise to us all.
Surprise to us all. So should we just move forward and slap that map, JB?
We can. I was gonna, unless you got something. I'm trying to find one thing here. Unless you got something introductory, something else introductory you wanted to get to or bring up.
I just wanted to, I felt bad Friday. I forgot to wish all of our people who observe such things. I forgot to wish everybody happy Hanukkah. So happy Hanukkah to those that observe. That's it.
Oh man, I got so many internal jokes running in my head right now. Yeah, no, happy observations to everybody.
Yes,
I
for
do
those
tend to
people.
forget when everything starts.
I know, because you ain't a real one out here.
I'm not real. I'm not real. We did the joke. I was so like, this is gonna be crazy. So my wife and I were taking a walk. We walking the dog yesterday.
Oh gosh.
So like, oh, this is not gonna go well. But so there's like, so we're walking back and we're seeing, and there's like these competing, I think of them as competing lawn ornaments.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like, people have really spent a lot of money on some of the latest happy this, happy that. And there's this one house that there's all these blow up, Christmas and Santas. And then this one house has like the equivalent, but it's all Hanukkah, dreidels, menorahs, and then so my joke is I want to get that, and I want to get the Christmas one, and then I want to find the Kwanzaa one, and I want to stack them all, pile it all up in our front yard, and just see how that's one thing. But we saw this. Let me just stop. This is. Let me just leave it there. Happy everything to everybody.
As you're recounting it in your head, and
it's not going to translate
you're
well.
converting the thoughts into words. You're like, this
Yeah.
ain't gonna come out right.
No.
Let me stop.
No, we need Paul Mooney, Richard Pryor levels of
Carlin.
delivery. We need I'm just gonna get myself and all of us in trouble. So I'm just gonna leave it there.
Yeah, leave it there.
It's some funny jokes in there. Everybody enjoy yourself, your winter solstices, because I know some of the
Upcoming, yes, indeed.
folks like to refer to this time as that.
Mhm.
Welcome, everybody enjoy everything. Woo! I think I just walked back from the ledge. I think I just saved us. Walk back from the ledge.
Well done. We're not far out of strike territory, so I appreciate your restraint in this moment.
Yeah, and remember, right, because Paul Mooney, RKF Master is saying Paul Mooney, that story's going to be wild. Yeah, and I remember Paul Mooney used to tell his stories about, he would make fun of all these different groups, and then one of his lines to defend himself was to remind everybody that one of his children has married one of every other group. So when he's making fun of the Mexicans and the Jew, whatever, he was just like, whenever he was just like, I got children that married into all of these communities. So you can't, so everybody back up a little bit. But anyway, so,
I don't know if that's a two-way street though. I don't know.
No, I'm just saying, and again, I'm not delivering it the way he would have, but that was one of his
retorts.
retorts. And I did watch him. I did watch him have a white couple exit a live show one time.
Really?
And he said, he said, thank you. I got to get at least one out every time. And you know who else said something similar? The late Amiri Baraka. I saw him speak one time, and an older white couple got up mid presentation and walked out in disgust. And Baraka took it as he said, yes. Now I've I got it. If I get one couple, one out, I feel like all right. But there it is. Good morning, everybody.
Let's slap them out.
All right. Yeah, but it's not gonna be that smooth because I gotta find it now. There we go. Nope, that's not it. Here we go. Slap the bat. There we go.
Peace and good morning, good people. Welcome to the Remix Morning Show on this good Tuesday, December the 12th, 2023. Year is marching on, everybody. And you guys have marched your way here to Black Power Media. We certainly appreciate your company, your time, your chats, your comments, your support. If you could run us some support this good Tuesday, you can do so via Super Chat. You become a channel member. You can go to patreon.com/Black Power Media. We also have a Cash App. $ Black Power Media. We appreciate any and all support, material and free and all of that good stuff. It's Kim Brown, Jared Ball. The ear doctor has departed us. Perhaps Kamal Franklin will be joining us. Who can really say? It's a fluid situation over here at the Remix Morning Show. But you guys do us a favor, like the video, engage, share, subscribe, all the algorithmic things. We appreciate you guys support and y'all being here this morning for the remix. Shout out to Sister Erica who laced us with the good stories.
But Kim, you talked him up, so we can now bring to the stage Kamal. Okay, Franklin.
Oh, there obviously is no ear. That's it. Damn. Oh, seems a little depressing.
We do what we can. Ear doctor has, he's
with the kids.
Airport run. He's with the babies, taking them, dropping them off at Barbados.
Oh wow,
beautiful.
Wow.
See, Kamal, you overlook the extent of the ear doctor's contribution. He contributes not only his technical DJ prowess, his supreme musical knowledge, but he is the conductor of this wayward train. You know what I'm saying? He keeps us on the rails. I think some of y'all might argue that he takes us off the rails. I disagree.
It can't be a little both. It can't be a little both.
Maybe a little bit both. I'll allow that. So
he did leave us a couple of breaks. So he did, so
a king. Thank you.
Yes.
How are you doing this morning, Kamal? You look nice.
Oh, that's surprising. I haven't had my coffee yet. As soon as we take a break, I need it to be an extended break so I can go make my coffee. I woke up late. You know how you look at your thing, you're like 5 more minutes and an hour later. So then me and again had to separate. One person takes one kid, the other, but we did make it. Oh my God. Oh, this.
That's love.
Is why exactly. Aww. This is why I married her.
Isn't that beautiful? Look at that.
For her coffee.
And she had it. Yeah. Well, yeah. And she had a banging body, but
Okay. Tell the truth though. You know what I'm saying? Don't keep it a secret. You know what I'm saying? Keep it real out here in the field. The body was banging, right? Come on.
Banging.
Right, weaponry.
Ethiopians have more than big foreheads. I did not know that.
From the continent, I would expect nothing less. To be honest.
Sorry, you can't say that stuff no more, can you? You can't say that stuff no more. My bad.
That's dope. I love that. I love it. Keep that up. More of that. I love to hear married people openly talk about how much they still want the other person. That's great. That gives people some encouragement. You know what I'm saying? As
So
opposed,
that means you one day we might be invited
no.
to a.
No. let me cut them dreams short real quick, Val. No wedding invites here. Not for me. I like to admire marriage from afar. You know what I mean? Like, look at that. Isn't that
No,
something?
there's never been a moment when you've been like, maybe I should get married.
But there has to be a person. You know what I'm saying?
But
Yeah, I would sit there and be like,
theoretically, you're down. Are you down theoretically? Like would you?
no,
Oh.
no. I just have not met anybody that I'm like forever. I ain't met that forever person ever. I ain't met him ever.
You ever shacked up? You live with somebody?
Oh yeah. We
Oh.
can shack up. Yeah.
How long? How long that last? What's your longest
A
shack
long
up?
time. 10 years.
Oh,
Yep, 10 years.
that's a good amount.
It is.
You were married.
I know. I know. And I said, I don't know if this is for me, because this is going on for a long time. It's like,
Oh, damn.
when is the expiration date? When is this over?
Damn.
I mean, I'm sure y'all wives don't feel that way about y'all though.
Well, it depends when you ask.
Mm.
And we just had the and good thing I am an atheist, because my wife definitely said it is till death do us part.
Mm.
She's in the afterlife, she's she's
Oh, shit.
moving on. She was like, if I see you up there, just what's up, and keep it moving, it's and then we started talking about we started talking with the kids, had a morbid discussion about what we want done in our death.
Mhm.
And I said, I want to donate whatever can be used to science, and then earn me up, put the rest in a nice urn. And I want the kind of picture on the urn where I'm looking right at the camera. So it's like I'm looking everywhere, and I want it front and center. And then I said, I expect to go first. And when my wife goes, when she gets earned up, mix us up and put us together. And my wife was like, no. She was like, do not. She was like, I'm not earning up with you. And I don't want, she does, it's like the whole, everything from like no matching outfits to we're not being buried next to each other.
Not even to buried next to each
She's
other.
not into any of that. She's like, give me my space.
Give me my
It's
space.
strictly to death do us part, the Dame Espacio. You know what I'm saying? It's Dame Espacio. So it's like, yeah. And so, but we're gonna see. We're gonna see. Because I told my youngest, you know what I'm saying, mix us up.
Your wife
Don't listen
said,
to your
not
mother."
mix them atheist ashes with my saved ashes. My ashes are saved. Don't put
She was
me
like,
with
I'm
that
going up
heathen."
there. She was like, and if I see you, just
Maybe a nod at
a
best.
little nod and keep it moving. Just
Now, you bring up an interesting thing, Jared. I know you don't watch Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, but he actually did a whole segment about not only organ donation, but body donations to science after death. And he said, it's not what you think it is. If that's what you're considering, I would
Uh-oh.
recommend you go watch that segment.
What do you mean by that? It's not what you think it is. It's like people don't get your organs and live a long time because you've helped put something in their body.
Well, apparently the whole organ donation system is a unregulated, nonprofit driven industry. It's not a federally regulated thing. The story that John Oliver talked about is that there are lots of organs that are being damaged, lost in transit,
Stolen?
they're stolen. You know what I mean? Talking about how rich people can buy their way further up on the organ donation list. It's a really interesting segment. But as far as people donating their bodies to science, they had this one museum in Oklahoma where the skeletons are arranged in interesting positions, but these are all people who wanted their bodies donated to science. But it's like, well, once that happens, as a dead person, you don't really have any say as to where that goes. You might go to a medical school, or your skull might get sold online for $2,000. Like it's an
Wow.
interesting story. Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna make a good faith effort. At the end of the day, I doubt I'm gonna care. So I'll make a good faith effort to make some use. And if not, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I did what I could. It's kind of like how I feel in general. Like I did the best I could while I was here. If y'all can't make it, if this is That's
This
all
is how
you-
it's
you're
going to be.
saying.
This is how
I
it's going to
mean,
be.
you know, so I did quickly, speaking of organ donation, I saw somebody, and I thought I had the comment say, but somebody was asking about Sister Jackie, and to the extent my non-medical expertise can be of value here, I did see her yesterday, and she seems as good as we could expect.
Was she cussing? Was she cussing?
Yes, indeed. Yep,
great.
yep.
She must be feeling better.
But in appropriate spaces, because unlike sometimes your boy, her engagement with the medical community or whoever's out and about in the world was just as we would expect from her. It's pleasant, polite, everybody good vibe, good spirit. You know, she knew everybody, greeting everybody. It was weird, sort of. You know, it was weird seeing it because my experience is always very different. It's just it's just very different. But yeah, when appropriate, the cussing, you know, was there, and so yeah, so I don't know exactly when we'll be seeing her back around, but
I mean, if she's healthy enough to see you, why can't she be on the show? I don't understand.
She's resting.
Well, you know, I mean, how hard is it? Like, you know, just put a mic, prop her up a little bit. Come on.
And then, well, this is all really ultimately about the Kamau replacement plan. So that's I'm trying. What do the kids say these days? I'm trying to get. This is my Riz.
I feel like that's going on a lot. I think a lot of people are trying to replace me. I feel like, yeah.
Why? Why does that come out?
I don't know. Maybe something about the personality of their personality.
Not your
Something wrong with them. Get them, come out. Tell them. That's what I'm talking about.
They don't know how to submit properly. I don't understand.
Shit. Not submission. Damn.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on in their world.
Got to be careful co-signing Kamau. I think I got caught out there real quick.
Sounded mighty patriarchy there, Kamau.
Yeah,
over there talking about
like,
submission and shit.
Everybody should submit. Gender wide, right?
Women first, though, right?
Right, you put the gender on that, Kim.
Yeah,
Kamau was speaking to all pronouns can get it.
Exactly.
There you go, Dr. Claw.
That's true. That's true.
Jared, you have the best cartoon villain laugh on earth, and it's so natural. It just comes out. I said, Jared was on Inspector Gadget trying to get Mr. Gadget, Dr. Claw.
I did watch that show though.
Who didn't? Yeah. Everybody watched Inspector Gadget.
I guess I don't know. I don't know.
Gadget, go. Go, Gadget, go.
Oh, wow.
Da-na-na-na-na. And think about how many times that got sampled by rap. Da-na-na-na-na, Inspector Gadget. Da-na-na-na-na.
In the early days, right. Look, it might be time to even a get in the background said, "Y'all got any news today?"
Right.
It might be time.
Sorry. Our bad, everybody.
All right. Shout out to Ed Get and all the other erstwhile producers, the intrepid producers of the morning show.
We love y'all. Thank you.
We do. Anybody got something they want to get to?
Did you slap the map?
We did.
We did. We're on point.
Bad.
We're professionals.
Oh, okay.
Over here.
So quick, I don't have any details about the story. I don't have the story pulled up, but apparently the House committees are moving forward to open the impeachment inquiry on Joe Biden.
Oh,
I thought that was adorable. This comes after it was announced that Hunter Biden is facing 9 new charges, new indictments on some old shit. But regardless, they say Hunter was spending doing, getting sniffy with the coke. He was spending his money on girls. He was spending his money on luxury items. I said, get that nigga. Get him. Get him. Get him and Biden and Trump.
I'm saying, so could we potentially have an all impeachment presidential race
exactly
next year? That would be dope.
Let's go.
That is what we're headed towards.
So Reuters does say U.S. House expects Wednesday vote on formalizing Biden impeachment inquiry. So The Republican-controlled U.S. House of Representatives is expected to vote on Wednesday to formalize its impeachment inquiry of Democratic President Joe Biden, a Republican leadership aide said on Monday. Spoke on the condition of anonymity, closed-door meeting. The House Republicans accused the Democratic president and his family of improperly profiting from policy decisions Biden participated in as vice president during President Barack Obama's 2009 to 2017 administration.
Yeah.
This is hilarious. They have also accused the U.S. Department of Justice of inappropriately interfering with an investigation into Biden's businessman's son, Hunter Biden. The Justice Department denies wrongdoing. 14-page resolution that would allow the full House to vote authority to probe or authorizing the probe. Yeah, okay. So on.
Let's go, House Republicans. If y'all ain't gonna do shit this whole term, do this. If y'all ain't gonna do nothing else, do this. Yeah.
So he's not being impeached for genocide, though.
No.
That part.
Genocide is fine.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fine.
Acceptable.
Yeah. Because that's sort of everybody gets a piece of that. It's when you do your own little thing and cut out segments of the ruling elite. That's when you run into trouble.
I feel like this is going to be the new normal now. Every president is going to get at least an impeachment now, depending on who controls the House or whatever and when. So it's I love it. It's like if this is the new normal, that people are going after each other like this. That is fantastic.
And I hope it comes up in the debate. Like, well, you got impeached. Well, you got impeached. You know what I'm saying? My impeachment is bigger than your impeachment. You know what I'm saying? Impeach these.
They start talking about each other's kids. Well, Hunter, well, nigga, Ivanka.
Right.
And fucking Don Jr. What you talking about?
More shady deals and drugs than the other. Like, come on now. Let's let it all come out.
Yeah.
And Biden might top it, right? Biden was on this. He was on a little run there. He was on a big run. And he still got that afterlook. You know, you got that afterlook even after you clean up. You claim you clean up. Allegedly, you clean up. You still have that look of like you don't know. He's still got that look, that little look. Yeah, Hunter does. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I don't think it's over for him. I think we're going to get another story soon, unfortunately.
And them white kids I went to high school with taught me back in the day the rehab cleanup hustle. They were the number one abuser of dope was publicly known as the number one. I've been to rehab and I'm improved. And and it just gave her all the cover in the world. And I was like, but you the main one.
The worst one.
I was like, damn. I was like, nobody gets high like rich white people. It is just facts all the way across the board. So I would love to see the Biden Trump.
Can somebody do a good movie or expose on Hunter? Is what Ricky's saying in the chat at all accurate? I need the alleged.
First of all, if Ricky said it in the chat, we know it's facts.
Facts.
So allegedly, Hunter Biden was with his wife's dead.
What?
Was sleeping with his wife's dead.
Oh, come on. Links.
What?
No, wait. His dead brother Hunter was sleeping with her wife. His wife.
Yeah, that's how I read that. Right.
Hunter's still
sleeping with the wife of his dead brother.
Bo Biden, who died, his wife, Hunter hooked up with her. I think there might be some accuracy to that, allegedly.
Others are saying yes. Somebody needs to look at this. I have never.
That's white collar crime right there. Boy.
Can you get impeached for that? Can you get impeached for that?
Who's the one of them right wing extremist filmmakers? Dinesh D'Souza. He need to get on this.
This
dude, he's another one. Oh my God, that name I've been hearing. He's another one having a resurgence. I'm telling you, the internet is cyber all day.
But did he ever fall off though, Dinesh?
I thought he did. He did in my life. Like in my universe, he had disappeared. And now he seems to have come back with a fury. And I'm like, he's everywhere. I'm like, I thought this dude was debunked 30 years ago.
There's enough
and he
money
just found a new hustle.
Yeah, they just he knows how to. He's tied in. He's like, basically, he took a bid for him. He's like, I took a bid for the cause. I cannot leave me. You know, Indian
That's
or
a
not,
good point.
Indian or
That's
not.
it.
I took a bid. I took a bid. Y'all owe me. Y'all owe me. Let's set me up over here. And now he's a filmmaker all of a sudden. So I don't, So yeah. Yeah, but they need a film. Somebody,
They definitely need a film on that. Did he really do that?
Other people are saying facts.
I need a screenplay. I need this dramatized. This can't be just a documentary. I need this acted out.
I did acted it. Exactly.
Well, actually, there is a version of this in what was quietly one of my favorite movies. The name of which I now cannot remember, but it's that one with Brad Pitt.
Mm-hmm.
It's that World War I movie where all the brothers end up spending time with the same woman. Like she goes from one brother. There's three brothers. One gets killed in World War I, so she moves to Brad Pitt. He runs off into his world, and she moves on to Aidan Quinn, his older brother. Legends of the Fall. Thank you.
That's what that movie's about. And white people fishing or some shit like that.
I thought it was Horseback Ride, or maybe that's the Bridges of Madison County.
No, that's the Bridges of Madison. Legends of the Fall is Anthony Hopkins is the father, the patriarch on the farm, and all of his sons. He's like I don't know, probably like some I don't know, Spanish war vet, and he's like, I don't want any of my kids going to war, and then World War I comes and they all go, and so it becomes like, and it's got this like, it's got the farmers against the government plot, the bootlegging plot, but the subplot, the romance plot, where we're meant to, as viewers, accept all of this, is that this one woman she just
keeps it in the family.
Keep it in the family.
And in order of age, she just youngest to oldest. So. It's a good movie, though.
I've never seen. Anytime I've seen any inkling of that movie, I've always been like, turn.
I like that movie, and it's the point though is it is the prequel to apparently to Biden
to the Biden love affair. Wow, and Hunter Biden had a child, that he's not. Well, I don't know if he was claiming the baby. Jackie was telling us about the story weeks ago, but the Bidens that Joe and Jill do not recognize Hunter Biden's love child. So when they're naming their grandchildren, they say, we have 6 grandchildren. Well, actually, you got another one that y'all not including in that number. All because of Hunter. Oh, Hunter. Yeah, I didn't even know they was wilding in Wilmington like that, Shorty.
Who knew?
Who knew?
I hear something new. It's almost like what was it? The Goodfellas and the Ray Liotta character. It's like I feel like somebody like that. So a younger version has to play him because the exploits are enough for a 2.5-hour movie. That is your father is the president and you making deals off of your dad's name, making money, sleeping with your brother's
sister-in-law,
your dead brother's wife, cracking it up. Carrying guns. I mean, goddamn. That's that. Goddamn.
Sound like he came out of Albany Projects. Sound like he came out of Albany Projects.
I didn't want to say it, but I was thinking something like.
I thought the same thing too. I didn't want to say it either. I was like, that's the blackest movie ever.
Right. Say, come out of Brook. No.
Oh my.
You know who will play? Who will? It'll be Tom Hanks' son that'll play him.
Oh shit, Chet would be perfect.
Chet Hanks
Chet would be perfect. That's another Wayward White, nigga. You are Tom Hanks'
Wayward
son.
Whites.
Ooh, like
the Wayward Whites.
That's a Wayward White. Chet, but his patois though, I gotta say, you can tell Chet.
What has Chet done? I don't know Chet.
Oh
Lord,
Kamal.
It's a long story. It's
too much. It's too much. There's no story. Can we make that a news story? Can somebody pull up a news story on Chet?
It's just all I know of it is a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle.
It's just he's a whole. I don't even know how he got there. Does he?
For his actions. Can we get Tom?
He
Hanks?
should be. he should be on the grounds of cultural appropriation, maybe alone. There should be impeachment hearings if somehow it would be connected to some sort of public official, like, but he's I honestly don't know. I'm just Googling stuff. I don't really know. It's just his whole performance. I don't know if there's like somebody has created a set of clips, I'm sure, on YouTube or something.
Oh, I'm sure. So
There's
just
gotta
real
be
quick,
Yeah.
out. Chet Hanks, the son of Tom Hanks. He's a low-level actor. He's had some roles in some significant things. He was in Shameless, which the Showtime series starring
Oh, wait a minute. I watched. Who was he in Shameless?
Shameless. He was the boyfriend of one of Lip's girls. So the girl who had a child and Lip really liked her. He was her baby father, and he had a coke problem. And Lip one day had a pizza delivered to his house that had a bag of cocaine in it to try to get him back on coke. Chet Hanks.
Damn.
He was also in the what was he in, you guys? The shit with Taraji and Terrence Howard. What is it? God damn it. The Lions, Lucius Lyon. What's the name of the damn
really?
series?
Oh, Power or
No,
No,
not
that's
Power.
not Power.
the other one.
Empire.
Empire. Yes,
Yeah.
he was in Empire also. And I didn't know that he was Tom Hanks' son until he started showing up on the internet talking Jamaican patois. And it's like, what is he doing? What?
This is a clip of him explaining White Boy Summer that may
shit.
help.
What is White Boy Summer? White Boy Summer is me.
Booyaka, booyaka.
White Boy Summer is fun, inclusive.
I'm not talking about like Trump, NASCAR type white. I'm talking about, me, John B., Jack Harlow.
White Boy Summer is love. It's about the white boys that love black queens. It's the white boys that are tuned into the black girl magic. That's really what White Boy Summer is all about. Just shining a light on interracial relations.
Yeah, Mike, nigga twerk. Yeah, let me see your nigga twerk.
White Boy Summer, Black Queen Summer, boom. Black girl magic is a very real thing. What is it? Magic.
Oh my God.
Dog, let me tell you something. As somebody who has no qualms dating interracially, I would never date a motherfucker like that. Like, nigga, you're doing too much. And you Tom Hanks' son. Again, him being Tom Hanks' son plays a big piece in this, because it's like, my guy, you're trying to relate on a socioeconomic level that you have never really understood. Like, what's going on here?
Oh my God. Is this part of a Comedy Central bit? I don't understand what the fuck just happened here.
No,
Like,
he was serious.
It should be, but he apparently is as they say, dead ass serious. And I love the video, honey. I'm pouring champagne on a black woman to show my appreciation for black women.
Hey, that's what he was taught, right?
It is. So yeah, that's. I didn't know he saw it as a mission to interracialize that's what, but that's.
My man said, "What is it?" He said, "Magic."
He said, "White Boy Summer is love, sir." Every White Boy Summer sounds like the red summer. It sounds like a summer where crosses are burning. White Boy Summer does not sound like anything friendly.
No, that's why he had to specify, Kim. It's him and John B. And
said John B.
He said John B. I hadn't heard that name in forever.
That's in decades, literally. I mean, how old is his son? Is his son like our age? I don't understand. Like, how old is he?
And is John B still out here doing stuff?
Yes, he is. I think John B was recently on tour. I think he just did a show at the Birchmere a couple months ago.
And people came out to see him?
Oh, no, that I don't know.
Oh.
I know he had a show. I don't know if anybody went, but he had one. Sang his 2 songs and collected his check and went home.
True that. True. Oh,
that's wild.
I'm in shock. B. I had no idea about the antics of these famous white sons.
I don't know where we go from there.
Anywhere.
Do we have a break?
We do have 2 breaks. Should we take a quick break and come back? Do we need to cleanse the space?
Yes, I think so. And do some real news. All
right, then we'll come back here in a second. Don't go anywhere. Remix Morning Show.
Let's go. From BK to the DMV.
The shit is wicked on these mean streets. None of my friends speak. We all trying to win. But then again, maybe it's for the best though. Cause when they seeing too much, you know they trying to get you touched. Whoever said illegal was the easy way out. Couldn't understand the mechanics and the workings of the underworld. Granted, 9 to 5 is how you survive. I ain't trying to survive, I'm trying to live it to the limit and love it alive. Like ills, poison my body. It used to say, fuck my skills. I never prayed to God, I prayed to God. That's right, it's wicked. That's life, I live it. Ain't asking for forgiveness for my sins. Ends, I break bread with the lay heads, picking their brains for angles and all the evils that the game would do. It gets dangerous. Money and power is changing us, and now we're lethal, infected with the evil. God, I want the cake you slightly.
Yeah. Big up to everybody tuned in right here, right now. This is no other than the Remix Morning Show. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure if y'all new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. And go to patreon.com, look for Black Power Media and become a member over there and get footage that's rare. Y'all know how we do right here on the Remix Morning Show. Now let's go back to our host. Let's go!
That was hot.
That was hot. Yeah.
Yo, that's what I knew. I knew Jill was the truth. When she dropped It's Love, I said, oh, that's it. It's done. It's over. I said, the sis from Philly got the go-go sound cranking literally behind her. Jill's the greatest. Everybody else can go home.
Jill versus Erykah Badu, real quick.
Ooh, that's a toughie. I don't even like that. Khalid versus Maya. Who you picking?
Oh, damn.
Who you taking, Kamal? It's like that. I can't pick Jill versus Erykah. What? No.
I don't know.
Can't.
Voice-wise, Jill, right?
Oh, hands down, yeah.
Yeah. Jill got the better voice.
Woo, yeah.
I wonder if I'd have to think about that. The voice clearly, but I although Erykah did surprise me when she did that live album and hit the oh man, why am I blanking on her name?
Patrice Russian?
No. Through the Fire, Shaka Khan. When she hit the Shaka Khan.
Oh.
Not that song, but she did another song. I was very impressed when she did that. I wouldn't have. I was like, I don't know. I was shocked that she was better than I thought. But I think I'm thinking that Badu might actually have more songs that I actually like more than Jill.
Yeah.
I think that's true.
But you're right about that go-go, that pocket. Oh man. And it's yeah.
But again, that speaks to the race. Like, what's the white girl from England again?
Adele.
There's no reason, like, in any truly equitable, justice-giving, loving world, there's no reason Adele is better known than a Jill Scott, right? For me, there's no reason whatsoever any of her music, like the career that she is allowed to have because of her whiteness compared to a Jill. And again, not to say that Jill hasn't had a great career or a good career and she's doing movies, but she never, fame-wise, blew up like an Adele. Voice is impeccable, style, jazz, different styles of music. In a fair, justice-giving, equitable world, for me, Jill Scott might be like, when we think about the pantheon of great singers, should be like up there, or whatever, like that, have that kind of career in anybody's list.
I think I'm with Coco on that one. So I was on a road trip with my daughters a couple years ago, maybe a year ago, and we heard a good amount of Adele. The woman can sing. I will at least give her that. The woman can sing. But just on GP in political context and history, I will not. I'm like, she's like the singing Eminem to me. I will not. I refuse to acknowledge any levels of talent or skill just because of the context, even as I've acknowledged that I'm saying, even if I contradicted myself, because we listened in the car and I was trying to hate. I was like, but,
No, there's
and then we
plenty of
just had a whole long discussion about Greg Tate and everything but the burden and the history of white folks performing blackness. And this is what white folks have been waiting for. They mine themselves for the Adeles. Can we find someone who can mimic blackness? And I was just trying to point out, everything she's doing is mimicking blackness. All of that soul is because she was listening to whatever she was listening to when she was growing up. So, and I get it. It's not logical. It's not it's not scientific. It's not data driven. It's not, but it's just on general purpose. I just refuse.
But it's interesting, like, we don't talk about Amy Winehouse in the same way that we
I
talk
was going to
about
bring it up.
Adele.
Yeah.
And maybe it's because Amy is gone, you know what I'm saying? Maybe because Amy was kicking it with the Negroes a little too much, you know what I'm saying? She was kicking it with Nas and Mos Def, and maybe she was, leaning too Negro for white folks to really care. But like, Amy was the truth. And not to say Adele is not, because like you said, Jared, no, Adele can totally sing, but Amy Winehouse for white folks was bringing a level of soul that I don't think white folks have seen probably since Tina Marie, to be honest.
Mhm.
And they weren't lifting her up like that, in my opinion. Like, I remember when Back in Black was out as an album, it was Grammy nominated. I was working on a white radio station at the time that was classified as rhythmic. So they played, some pop and some Negro music in there. And I was pushing hard. Like, we need to be playing Rehab at most. Like, can we play Rehab? No, we don't know if Amy Winehouse is really for this audience. I'm like, but she's white.
Exactly.
I don't know how much more she could be for this audience besides be white. And it was a struggle, but and they did not relent. Like, Amy Winehouse record did not make it into rotation at that radio station. And I always thought that was strange. Like, why don't y'all want to claim her? Like, she's clearly great, but maybe she was too black.
Yeah. And I do like Amy. I like the music. I listen to all the albums. But again, I still go with the thing. You can find, for every Amy, there's like 2,000 black women who can sing just as good or better, like in their bathrooms. And so, obviously, part of her rise is that whiteness, that voice coming out of whiteness. But even with that said, I fucks with Amy. I do.
I never listened to her that much. This is funny. I mean, I thought because my inner monologue, inappropriate joke on that one has always been that Jews are allowed to own and manage but not perform, and she was breaking code by being a Jew performing blackness.
Was she Jewish? I don't even know my white folks. She was Jewish.
Yeah, I'm almost sure she is. Yeah.
Wow. See,
Yeah.
that's news. I didn't know that.
And that was my inappropriate joke for a long time. I've always acknowledged she's a great singer. I just never, I gotta go check her catalog. I never really paid that much attention. But I agree with you, Kamal. And in Mama's Biscuits, I got to work with a sister who proved it. Tiffany Scott, who no relation as far as I'm aware, but she was every bit of, to this day, I'm like, I performed with the best of the best. Like, she could sing with anybody. Pick one, name them.
I've gone to a poetry reading and heard like black women sing or do whatever, and just been like, what the fuck, and never seen them again. You know what I mean? It's not like they get an album career or they get some large career. So but when your people dominate the world.
And it was interesting because some people say that I've met a number of people like that, and then they'll tell you, but I don't want the popularity. Like, I don't want to do that. And it's that frustrated jealousy of the fan that's like, how could you not? And it's like, I just don't, But in the context, by the way, this could be a segue if we wanted it to, although I don't think this is a particular news item, but I have been paying attention to a lot of discussion around Zion Williamson, the basketball player, lately.
What he do?
Well, the argument is it's about what he's not doing, that he's not taking it seriously, that he took the check, he got the bag, and he's just putting on weight. He's not training. He's not getting better. He's not interested in the game. And then I heard this one discussion. I don't know any of this with detail, but the part of the connection I'm making in my head is that one thing I heard was that people raised the question of the fact that he is this good at basketball doesn't necessarily mean he loves to play basketball the way fans might want him to want to play basketball because he's that good. And then, and I've been some personal reasons also, one, in just life, just thinking about these questions of what happens when people have this superior skill or talent but are not actually in love with doing that thing, particularly professionally. And why is it then that they should be forced almost to do it professionally and then be chided by fans who are disappointed that they're not embracing the skill that we don't have at a level we wish? Andre 3000 is another perfect. Thank you for that. That's another. So and he's another one in the context that this I think is coming up again. I just think it's interesting. So yeah,
interesting. Well, I don't know. Andre 3000 at least has a career of extremely successful, albums and projects. Zion Williamson hasn't won anything, hasn't produced anything. So I don't nothing put Andre in the same.
No, that's fair. That's fair. No. That's right. That's right. That's
and Zion Williamson, I mean, I'm not familiar with this particular conversation around him, but if I'm not mistaken, wasn't he number 1 or number 2 when he was drafted? Yeah. And he's not the only big man to be drafted high, number 1, number 2 to be a bust, right? Like there's a lot of big, tall losers.
But he's not a bust, though, right? I mean, he's not. Well, is he considered a bust?
They're getting there. Apparently, they're getting there. I don't pay enough attention, but the discussion is, and part of it is, and that the frustration though, Kim, is it's one thing to be a bust because you just don't turn out to be good enough. Mm-hmm. It's another when the perception is you have decided you don't want to put in the effort and you just want to eat and not train and play video games. And
who was the running back apparently
Ricky Williams, who he said, look, I don't want to play that much. Like he was one of the first ones in my lifetime that this question became that prominent. Where I remember hearing so much.
A little different though, because Ricky Williams, I think, lost his love for the game because the NFL kept popping him for weed, right? Like he was using cannabis.
Well, the claim, however, is that if he cared so much about football, like if he cared about his chosen career and giving it all and being number 1, then he wouldn't be smoking weed. I mean, that's the claim. His claim is that he's abusing his own potential to be all the things that people have put on him to be, and then they throw in all the money today. It's always like, basically, we're giving you all this money. You better do everything to entertain us at the level we ask. If you look like you slip it, if you don't look like you're a gladiator out there, I don't care if you. I don't even care if you're winning. It's how you win. It's what you look like when you win. I need the full performance or whatever. So I think it sounds like I haven't followed the Zion Williamson.
But Ricky had said back in the day, though, he had said it's not the weed became the centerpiece, but he had said, I just didn't have the love of the game. Like I didn't want to play that much. I wanted to do other things. I had other interests. And he only kind of went back to the game because he had no other real way of being gainfully employed. Mm-hmm. And the fans, and I've been caught up in this myself. At one point, I had the fantasy of being a professional athlete, which is crazy now. But I was like, and you see people who have the ability to do it, and then you're like, how could you ruin that? How could you not? Mm. But then if the flip side is, I get it. Like maybe I don't feel like doing this all day long. Maybe I don't feel like playing ball 150 times a year, and I just don't want to do it. Maybe so that's the thing with Zion.
But is there a legitimate question then? But you signed this contract or you took this money. So let me just read this.
Well, I don't give a damn from the NBA. I don't give a damn. I take all the money and don't play another game. I love that. I hope all of them do that on some level. Take the money and walk away. And the more I see white men in particular angry, I know this is a Stephen A. Smith article, but at times he's basically politically a white man.
He's basically a white man, yeah.
When they get mad at them, I I go the other way. I'm like, F that. Like, he has every right. Take every penny from these folks and go away and go get your mental health. Now, if he's just getting fat and unhealthy and living a dangerous, unhealthy life and all that, I'm not wishing that. But it did it anyway. But what came to my mind here was that question of what must it feel like to be that good at something that you might not really want to do? And I used to get frustrated at Tiffany. I was like, how could you not want to be a superstar? You sing better than everybody. Like, not even damn near everybody. How could you? Just like, I just don't feel like it. It's not my thing. I don't want to do it. I'm like, how could you not? 30 years later, I'm like, okay, I get it. I mean, I could see that. It's not for everybody. And then why should you have to be gainfully employed and have health care and a decent place to live?
Well, professional athletes like Zion Williamson, I mean, they have been training to be pros. They have been brought up with the aspiration and the intended goal of being professional athletes. So once they arrive in the NBA and they've been at this in their lifetime for at least half of their life, right? If they get drafted at 20, they've been playing ball since they was 8, 7, 6. You know what I mean? So this is something that they've been preparing for. But sometimes when you get to the mountaintop, that shit ain't all it's cracked up to be, right? So you arrive at this zenith, arrive in the league, your top draft pick, and you're like, this shit is whack. Like, but I've already signed the contract. I mean, if I was Zion Williamson, I wouldn't care. Like, at some point, this contract is going to end. At some point, he's probably going to have, $40 million.
Oh no, you're under. He signed a 200, and these apparently. These athletes are making close to. I saw something about a baseball player who signed a contract that's worth over its lifespan $700 million.
Shohei Ohtani, he's working.
Yeah,
run him all here.
Really
Infinite Content says here, since we talk about getting paid, can we talk about Shohei Ohtani getting paid and backloading his contract, lump sum $680 million after 10 years? That's beautiful.
Hey, I call that the Bobby Bonilla, right? Like if you guys remember Bobby Bonilla, I can't remember, was it with the Mets? Who was it, yep. Chad? Well, anyway, Bobby Bonilla had signed this at the time, record-breaking contract, but he backloaded the joint. So what is it? Every July 1st, is jokingly referred to as Bobby Bonilla Day because he gets another $10 million or something along those lines because he delayed his money. He deferred it.
I think it's only like $1 million something, but it's every year and I think he may have just ended it, but he was getting it every year for like 30, way beyond his career.
Way beyond.
So it was like no matter what I do, I'm gonna have money. Like, I'm not gonna mess this up. Yeah, very smart.
Very smart. But Shohei Ohtani is a once in a generation lifetime kind of talent. Like, this motherfucker can pitch. This nigga can throw 90 miles an hour and then stand at the plate. Isn't he a switch hitter? Doesn't he hit both sides of the plate?
He also hits. Oh,
yeah,
that's crazy.
He hit the shit out the ball. Come out. You got to see this dude. Like, what is he, Japanese, everybody? Shohei? He's unreal. Like, it is unreal to see this guy pitch and hit. I mean, that's like, what is this, 1921? What is this? What MLB are we looking at here? This man is ridiculous. No, he deserved all of that money. Give Shohei
You ever
all
been
his.
to the batting cages? Anybody?
Yes, sir. Right there at Rocky Gorge, Route 29. I have my own bat, Jared. I love going to batting cages.
Oh wow, right on.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I bring it up because the one time I stood in front of the highest it could go out here at the one near our house is 70. And for pro baseball, 70 miles an hour would be basically
hitting that all day.
Everybody, it'd be home runs for everybody.
Right.
And that thing came by me, and I was like, I think I paid. I got 12 swings, and I made contact twice, and they would have been fouls. But the first one was damn near scary. I was like, hold up. I was like, this is the public can do this. Like, kids can come out here. This is dangerous. This is not safe. So yeah, somebody throwing 90 and up and people hitting that, man, that's nuts. That's nuts.
No, it's crazy. But I'm sorry. But Zion Williamson, why is Stephen A mad? Because Zion Williamson got drafted by New Orleans. Well, hey,
that's what he said. Then
the Utah Jazz should have drafted him. Don't draft him in a food-rich city such as New Orleans and expect this young man not to throw down. Come on. I mean, come on. But he's Bananas Foster, Gumbo. shrimp etouffee every day. Breakfast.
I'll just
lunch, and dinner.
No.
quickly from the story. It says, "Remember the New Orleans Pelicans, bless Williamson," and you also just keep in mind the framing of the article. With a massive 5-year extension, potentially worth $231 million, despite only playing 85 games over the last 3 seasons due to injuries. And then they said they surrounded him with different talent. And it says, somebody says the Williamses' poor work ethic has been a source of frustration for the Pelicans since they drafted him number 1 in 2019. The Pelicans have tried to surround him with veteran talent. Then they have the president of the Pelicans popped in and said this was the first summer where we've seen Zion take his profession seriously,
Damn.
like that, and invest in it off the court on his own in a way that I think is meaningful. And it said, however, that didn't last long, and it was evident during the in-season tournament game against the Los Angeles Lakers when the Pelicans fell apart as Williamson looked gassed, ultimately leading to a 133-89 blowout win.
Damn.
And it said his weight is currently listed at 284.
Damn.
If he tips the scale at 295, his contract incentives are in jeopardy. And then there's a series of cartoons and memes and so forth on social media, which is basically calling him names and stuff like that.
Look, I get it. I've always been, as a buddy of mine used to say about women he used to date, but I've always been one burger away. And I remember vividly coming out of the Navy, a nice 240, 250, like the kind I like, that problem for the world 240, 250, that wear a tight shirt and wanted, 240, 250, like that. I was like, yeah. And in a blink, 290, 295, that freshman 15, freshman 30, 40, 50. And so I've always identified with the Zion types. I wasn't as tall, but that was like a very similar build, like, and just always that you almost there. You just almost always there. And as soon as you're not exercising at your peak, as soon as you're off the Duke training and you're a couple years into that fat contract, my goodness. And at that age, my goodness, so I get it when, he's got to have to, he's got to work harder if he wants to, but whenever I first read these stories, my initial reaction is, I want you to be healthy, but I don't give a damn what the NBA thinks. And I really don't care if Stephen A and them are all upset and mad at your work ethic. I don't like,
And
I'm
on
like,
top of that, Zion came out of college before name, image, likeness was a thing. So Duke, his high school, all of his AAU team, they got a lot of free labor out this kid. You know what I'm saying? So if he want to sit on his ass and eat gumbo by the gallon down there in New Orleans, fuck it, whatever.
but
They
those
got
white
their
fans are upset, Kim.
Hey, well,
They
take
pay
it up with
good
my
money.
agent. Take it up with my agent. These contracts already been signed. I ain't tripping.
It's a good guaranteed
I got it.
contract too. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I got a story that Erica put down for us. I'll put that. So Chicago taxpayers have paid nearly $700 million since the year 2000 in lawsuits by people who say police framed them. The payouts from the 300 cases have included $140 million that went to lawyers for the city and $537 million paid to plaintiffs. And so basically, the story, I don't need to read the individual one, but once out, he waited another 8 years on a lawsuit against the city of Chicago that ended with a jury awarding him $17 million in damages. Some may say the payday was worth the wait, but Rivera says the money will never replace the years he lost behind bars. And it just says multi-million-dollar payouts come before the Chicago City Council on an almost monthly basis, with the largest sum typically going to victims of police misconduct. Since 2000, the city has paid out again $700 million in 300 cases, which people said that they were framed by Chicago police. The terminology shouldn't say that they claimed they were framed or they said they were framed. They were framed. Of that, 138 million went to outside lawyers who defended the city. The lawyers always making money in the system. The tally covers only federal lawsuits and does not include fees awarded to the plaintiff's lawyers. Also not included are police-related lawsuits alleging misconduct, such as false arrests and excessive force, or for crashes and fatal shootings. The city is looking at easily $1 billion liability over the last 23 years, with plenty more on tap. A civil rights attorney whose nonprofit organization collaborated on a report. Stroth is currently representing James Gibson in a lawsuit against the city, who was tortured by former Chicago police commander John Burge into a false confession that landed him in prison for nearly 30 years. It says, as far as I can tell, they have no strategy for how they evaluate these cases, and that is delaying justice for men like James Gibson at phenomenal cost of taxpayers. I just want to see. So it says between 2017 and 2020, the city paid $72 million in settlements and judgments in just 19 wrongful conviction cases. Nearly a third of the $250 million the city paid in lawsuits across all city departments, according to a report last year.
I'm sorry. Can you read that line one more time? Come out. I just want to process those numbers real quick.
Between 2017 and 2020, the city paid $72 million in settlements and judgments in just 19 wrongful conviction cases. Nearly a third of the $250 million the city paid in lawsuits across all city departments, according to a report last year. So police misconduct basically is they're centering police misconduct payouts. So obviously is the biggest driver of payouts and lawsuits and so forth in terms of what the city has to pay out of its coffers or whatever.
But 72 million just over 3 years. I mean, I know we're talking enormous numbers.
The police are stopping the police from hurting, killing, illegally imprisoning, will bring down this rate. It's more about the idea that the city is paying so much money and they're not evaluating their cases properly in terms of doing so. So the issue is not, the story is not centered upon, well, if we stop the police from killing people or hurting people or harming people and the jailers from doing the same, that's how you bring down the resources. Because the city, again, most major cities are at this stage set up to basically allow their police departments and their jails, with the sheriffs and so forth, the counties. There's resources in the budget that are allotted for settlements and lawsuits and judgments, because the expectation is that the police, as part of their job and their role, will be to harm people physically, and that's an accepted practice, and they just have to give out a few dollars to make the victim go away, blood money in essence, right? Make the victim go away, and they can keep their system rolling. So the reform is never around how to change how policing is done. The reform is only around whether or not they're overpaying or they should do something so they don't have to pay as much, but not around who is being harmed by this.
Is it true that there are tech issues with the entire stream? I don't notice it on my end, but just quickly, I was just going to say, this sounds exactly like what I've been reading primarily since Freddie Gray's killing, from me at least, with what the police have been saying. And one of the arguments has been not that the violence against citizens is a problem per se, other than it keeps costing the city so much. We're paying out hundreds of millions of dollars in police abuse cases, but it's like what corporations call externalities. It's just the cost of doing business. It's like we make more money, in terms of the immaterial benefit we get from beating and abusing people, there's
no reason for him to be gone and be taken from us. But as you said, it's built into the budget, right? 20 mil anyway, but regardless, they have the expectation that people are going to sue them for their conduct. They put that money, make sure it's already padded in there. But I would prefer the money be spent in other directions. I would prefer the cops not kill people, that even lawsuits even need to be paid. But this is how they are trained. And this kind of thing is the justification why they say they need more cop cities, more cop training facilities, because the cops need to be better trained. We got, how can we stop killing people if we don't get better training? Well, there you go. That's it.
Yeah. Speaking of police abuse and undue time spent in prison, unfortunately, this week we saw the passing of Ed Poindexter, who spent a half a century in prison for a crime many say he didn't commit. And for those, I know probably Kamau, you more than many of us at least have been following this case for a long time. But Ed Poindexter, labeled a political prisoner by many civil rights advocates, died Thursday after a lengthy battle with diabetes and more than half a century behind bars. Poindexter, 79, and David Rice, who died in prison in 2016, were convicted of murder of the 1970 booby trap bombing that killed Omaha police officer Larry Menard. The pair were members of Black Panther-like group, and their conviction amid a period of heightened racial tensions in North Omaha was one of the most controversial in Nebraska history. It was later revealed that the pair were targets of the controversial FBI program, controversial, like Kissinger was controversial, to discredit and undermine such activists. Amnesty International had called for a new trial for labeling them. For them labeling Poindexter and Rice prisoners of conscience. So may he rest in power, and peace to his family and supporters.
No, I mean, I'll say quickly. I mean, this is the state of things. Either folks are getting out, this generation of organizers or radicals or revolutionaries. This is the state of things where people are, again, passing away or either in prison or getting out just as they're passing away. It's like a whole generation of folks. And, folks like all of us are providing some comfort. We're trying to provide monetary resources and so forth. But again, and I started to read the Tip of the Spear book. But it goes back to like these folks who put their lives on the line, organizing, bringing forth radical politics as a way of radicalizing both inside and outside, right? And how they saw it, like that generation that we can learn so much from and have learned so much from. It's pretty, so some of this stuff is just pretty disgusting the way some of these folks have gone out. So.
Yeah, so I see some of the chat saying that we're having buffering issues. I'm not aware of, I don't see any sign of it over here other than the fact that our YouTube stream numbers are just up and down like crazy. So it seems like something funky is going on.
My mama just texted me and said the sound is intermittent. Now, I don't know if she means everybody's sound, my sound, but mama said the sound is intermittent.
Because when I check it over here and hear you both, I don't see or hear any issues. So
I hear
exactly. It. You do hear it?
Well, I have the thing, the stream pulled up on my phone. But see, I'm having something funky going on with the internet over here. Generally, I don't know what's happening with the show, but yeah, it does sound a little intermittent. That's weird. That's what I'm getting. Like kind of choppy.
Let's see, because I didn't hear it on.
Oh, this is bad. Yeah, that's particularly bad.
Yeah, I hear a clip, but the sound in the stream looks good over here. But I heard a little clicking sound of some kind.
Yeah, I'm hearing clicking, but I'm not getting any sound coming out of my phone except for that weird clicking intermittently, as Mama said. We need ear doctor. Say that again. Say it loud.
Yeah,
Because
doctor can't fix YouTube. Don't
You
give him
don't know
that much
that.
credit. That's YouTube. That's not us.
You don't know that. You don't know
Oh,
that. You don't
but
know
all
what
it
ear doctor can fix, Kamau.
is
maybe
it
he
just
taught
in
one
my
of their
house that
children
it's
some
working?
health ed stuff, and then they're punishing us by messing up with our stream or something like that.
Mhm. Do me a favor, chat. If you guys are able to hear us, give us the indication of emojis. Thumbs up, thumbs down. For all that can, thumbs up. For all that cannot, thumbs down. Just so we have an idea here.
And
Because
now they're telling me my mic is too low. I can't. It was too loud before. I turned it up a little bit there.
yeah, you sound fine to me coming through
But
StreamYard.
ah,
Okay,
man,
Lex
Yeah,
said we good.
I think the StreamYard stuff is working fine. It's probably somewhere on YouTube, not
but even
for.
when I'm checking the stream on other
I'm
out,
seeing a lot. I'm seeing a lot of thumbs up, guys. I say we just
okay,
roll.
yeah, okay,
Thank you guys. Thank you,
yeah,
chat.
thank you very much. But just quickly, you mentioned I want to shout it out again. The Tip of the Spear book. I think we need, all of us should do much more finding ways to do work around it, whatever our particular interests, or maybe some collaborative. I want to go back and reread. I believe it's chapter 4 in particular. I mean, I think what Ori is saying, even about our current arguments, again, around gender and sexuality, I think everything needs an update in light of what he's produced here and the state's impact on trying to interfere with basically everything. And I will say, it was interesting on the panel the other day, and I don't know to what extent Robin Kelly has ever said this stuff, or he was engaging in hyperbole. It didn't come across as such, but he said that he said Burton's book. I'm saying it's like my number one book for media studies at this point. Robin Kelly said it's the best book he's ever read, which I'm like, damn, that's, I mean, that's pretty incredible praise. And even Dhoruba said he was speechless on the panel the other day. So,
and I know folks all around the country forming study groups around the book.
Got to.
In terms of, again, it's sort of like, just the theoretical positioning or whatever, but the idea, again, which is not foreign to radicals, but the idea that we are actively in war, or people are war combatants in a sense, and taking this out of the justice framework in some ways, or just and again, I haven't fully read the book or whatever. So, but the beginning ideas of what I've seen, I think has always been the argument, or it's it's good that somebody's put it in a way that now brings it back to sort of the top of a conversation around what is it that we're fighting for? Who are we fighting? What is the mechanisms that people use to keep us oppressed and suppressed? And they're not just doing it as a way to deny justice. They're doing it as an act of war, as an act of, they understand that their positionality is framed on our oppression. And they've always, and my opinion, they've always understood that to a large degree. There's others amongst who don't, but the ideological ones have always understood that their wealth, their power is based on controlling populations, stomping out radicals, stomping out opposition movements. And again, even the strategies of allowing certain amounts of us to entree into their system, which buys off a larger part of the population, has always been part of a larger strategy of survival. It's never been because, we feel good about this, blah, blah, blah. Oh, all that public sentiment is, similar when the United States talks about human rights, right? We know when they're talking about human rights, that's for, to be ungraceful about it. That's for the uninformed. It's for people who just they may turn on the news channel like, oh, look, again, our country is defending such and such. That's the propaganda that keeps people informed. But in their back channel meetings and stuff like that, they're real with it. They're real with it. It's like, we'll use this framework because this helps us. But when it doesn't help us, what we'll do in the case that's happening now is supply as much weapons as possible to ethnically cleanse, to commit genocide on populations, because at this stage, that helps us more in terms of what they think helps them. And clearing out, again, further with this exact, clearing out Palestinians from their land, establishing a far more powerful Israel at the stake of what other populations, seeing other populations can do there, but seeing also that their work has basically neutered all the surrounding governments, mostly, who even in terms of talking trash won't do anything because of the resources they get, right? So it's a very sophisticated plan and ideas that they put forth and that they continue to fully implement.
Can
So
we
I'm
segue
with.
that? Oh, I'm sorry.
Kim, just quickly, I just want to acknowledge Ricky's contrarian view. Potentially, I think it's a useful book. I'm still in the early reading, but I just don't carry those sentiments yet, she says. My thing, Ricky, please bring, when you're finished, your thoughts, criticisms, disagreements, changes of mind, perhaps, to Hood Communist, bring them to BPM. I don't expect all of us to agree, but I think the book at least should be made part of the conversation, even if it's to be criticized. I'd like to see that too. So yeah, sorry, Kim, go ahead, please.
No, to Kamal's point, what has transpired in recent days from the Biden administration, I think Biden signed an executive order, an executive emergency funding for more arms and weapons and ammunition for Israel. I think it was to the tune of 106. But can you Google that real quick, Dirt? Because this funding that was supposed to be for Israel, Ukraine, and Taiwan, they were not able to get it passed through Congress. So the Biden administration took this unilateral step to via executive authority to approve this emergency weapons, which I think include a great deal of tank munitions and some other artillery there. But it's like, is Israel losing? It's like, what's the emergency? What is Israel down bad? Is Palestine and Hamas, getting the leg up on Israel? Why the fuck does Israel, who has killed 10 times more Palestinians than Israelis were killed on October 7th, why does Israel need 100 million or billion or however much the amount is in emergency military funding?
Well, we know that from their own mouths that they've that some of the money that they want is for messaging, because they do know they are losing the battle of the narrative. So they have said, we want 50 million here, however many more here, just for the propaganda war, if nothing else. But every time I peek in on, or more than peek in on, Electronic Intifada, what I glean from it is Israel is really concerned about what an actual continued invasion would look like, what it would mean to really get rid of Hamas and every other fighter, and that they don't want that tunnel smoke per se. So puns intended, I guess. But so they might be making a call for more funding just around that as well. Like, how are we going to get around this? But but to your point, I think you're raising a good question. Like, the numbers are not stacking up equally. It's not I don't even like when they call it conflict or war. It's not two. It's
not state versus state. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a false equivalent. So,
yeah.
But yeah,
and I'm.
Sorry, I was just going to pull up this story to try to. But go ahead, Kamal, because I don't know for sure what I'm looking at here.
I was going to say quickly that what it does say about, and I think I read 105 billion in terms of emergency aid, or aid which bypasses Congress, and it's the first time that the Biden administration has used their particular power to do so, apparently, to bypass Congress and to send aid, so-called aid, basically military hardware, like you said, rockets and ammunition for tanks. What it does say is that Israel would not survive without the largesse of the United States. Israel is basically at this stage in its history nothing more than a pet project of the United States, and that's what keeps it going. Israel. So part of what this is that Israel, in terms of using its munitions and ammunition, needs the U.S. to replenish it in order to continue its warfare, its murder, its genocide on Palestinians. And that's how beholden Israel is. And so people who talk about sort of the economy of Israel or how well it's doing, that is because of all the billions of dollars it receives yearly, both in military and other economic aid from the United States and probably other Western powers. So it would not be able to survive militarily or economically without, and position itself where it has, without the United States as basically its partner in crime of Palestinian land. And so that's what when I read that, more or less, it's hard for me to say that they're not, quote unquote, winning, as in they basically destroyed from almost every angle the place where Palestinians have been hoarded to since the invasion of European Jews in the 40s and beyond and before. And so, people, again, 20,000 is like more tonnage dropped than in every other war, and there's more kids killed and everything else. So it's hard for me to say overtly that they're not winning, because they are basically murdering people and attempting to get people to be moved out of Gaza somewhere into Egypt or the Sinai Desert. I think is been touted as a part of a plan. But the resistance is ongoing, right? The resistance both in what is termed in Gaza. Again, there is some resistance from places like in Lebanon with Hezbollah, the Houthis in Yemen. So there is some resistance that is still happening, and this could break out into a larger regional warfare. But again, I think the biggest thing for me is still places like Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Egypt, have basically, except for a few words, have not done anything to stop this this massacre from happening, which shows how brought off they are in terms of supposedly, uplifting the Palestinian struggle. They're using words and terminology and saying this must stop, but they're not threatening to cut off oil. Egypt is not threatening to open up its border and dare Israel to bomb as it brings in medical supplies. Jordan is not doing anything next to the West Bank to alleviate the pain and suffering of Palestinians who are also being killed in higher numbers than ever or in decades in the West Bank. So all of these countries have been tamed, and they want to make statements. And even though their larger populations are on the side of Palestinians, they have not done anything, and most likely will not do anything unless they are overthrown in terms of doing something to save Palestinian lives.
So this is, to Kim, your specific point, U.S. government uses emergency authority to provide tank shells to Israel. So we know, so tank shells are, in fact, part of the concern here. The Biden administration has used an emergency authority to allow the sale of about 14,000 tank shells to Israel, without congressional review, the Pentagon said on Saturday. The State Department on Friday used an Arms Export Control Act emergency declaration for the tank rounds worth $106.5 million for immediate delivery to Israel, the Pentagon said.
What's the name of that act? The emergency?
The Arms Export Control Act, AECA, Arms Export Control Act.
Y'all ever heard of that?
No. And I wonder how old it actually. No, I'm just playing.
Right, some shit they just made up.
The larger package is worth more than $500 million and comprises 45,000 shells for Israel's Merkava tanks regularly deployed in its offensive in Gaza. Now, I don't man, I got to go check for sure. But the one expert they keep bringing to Electronic Intifada, I keep hearing him. I thought I heard him describing those tanks as being particularly ineffective and vulnerable to guerrilla warfare responses. Not that would stop them from wanting to fund more because it keeps the machinery going. But yeah. Listen, we do have. Sorry, go ahead, Kim. Yeah, go ahead.
Check our email real quick because I just sent you guys a tweet with a video clip. I can't remember the name of this journalist, but it's the journalist that shows up to the State Department briefings and gives the State Department spokespeople the business. Some older white man. Y'all know who it is, not y'all. Y'all might know who it is, but chat, y'all probably definitely know who it is. But there was an incident involving Palestinian babies that were not evacuated from a hospital, and tragically, I think the babies passed. And the State Department struggled, I believe, to come up with an answer.
On this issue, there's a great many rumors and so on that talks about incentivizing Egypt to take like hundreds of thousands and so on. So you repudiate that completely. That is not something that has been discussed, as it was already discussed on Capitol Hill.
So I am not going to respond to rumors, and I don't know what you're referring to with respect to Capitol Hill, but it doesn't actually really matter. But I will reiterate the principles that the Secretary outlined, and one of them is no forced displacement of the Palestinian people from Gaza.
Okay, a couple of other issues. There was a report that Israel's assault forced a nurse to leave babies behind. They were found decomposing. Are you aware of the story?
I am aware of that report, Saeed.
And do you take it as it happened, or if it did happen, is that a war crime?
Saeed, I would say that is a tragedy.
And he struggles not to say war crime.
It's a tragedy for those babies.
Right.
It's a tragedy for their family members.
Right.
Tragedy,
it's a tragedy
for
the Palestinian people, and it is a tragedy for the world.
Okay.
And it is why we have made clear that far too many Palestinians have been killed in this conflict. And that, of course, includes far too many Palestinian children and, of course, Palestinian babies. And it is why we have taken every measure we could to speak loudly and clearly to the government of Israel that it needs to do everything it can to minimize civilian harm. And it's why we have worked to try and move humanitarian assistance in. And it is also why I will say we have said that Hamas should stop hiding its fighters in hospitals.
I'm talking about this particular incident.
I know. It gets to the very difficult nature of this war,
right?
And the immense human tragedy that has been inflicted on far too many people.
But if it happened, it's not a war crime, or is it a war crime?
So I am never going to be able to make an assessment here. You saw us today make a conclusion about war crimes after a very deliberate fact-finding process, where we then apply the facts.
So yeah, it's never going to be termed a war crime. Yeah, just to be clear. So I mean, this is I think the reporter is what is it? Saeed Arakat. Is that?
I think that sounds right. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's it's always interesting. So it's not a mainstream reporter, right? It's not the New York Times grilling them. It's not the Washington Post grilling them. It's not the LA Times grilling them. But it's some side reporter who has to, through his own mechanisms, through social media, and make sure that his questioning even reaches a larger audience. Because if you look at the New York Times these days, the war has dropped down from the top of the headline to beneath other stories that are domestically inclined, because they don't want, and anytime they do tell a story, it goes back, it harks back to October 7th and the suffering of the Israelis. And then if you, electronically speaking, when you go inside, then you may find a couple of stories that begin to talk about the tragedy of Palestinians dying on their own because they haven't gotten out of the way of Israeli bombs or whatever like that. So the framing, the language used, it's totally disgusting. As again, yeah, we watch war crimes and an active genocide taking place, and the powerlessness. Even though people have, of course, in times, in ways in which we have never seen before, I think stood up for the Palestinian cause. But it shows the power of hegemons and a war machine, where despite the outcry, despite the outrage, they will continue to murder and to kill and to maim and to take until they are overthrown, because that's who they are.
Listen, we have one more ear doctor break, if we like, and then we have a couple more stories, and I have a request of our audience and you all for some help.
Like Kamau help, like run us some money help.
Well, no, run us some resources and citations help, but the money is always good too. So let's check out the Ear Doctor break, and I'm sure he'll remind everybody to like, share, subscribe, and support our Patreon and run Camus his money. Back in a second.
Yes, I'm that kind of nigga. The one you fear be scared you can't figure. The one that has the finger on the trigger. Boom. In the cut, zoom. In the darkness, the halo, the moon. Step into your real soon. Check the blackness. Moving for the act of the likeness. Masquerading. And you call yourself cold
black nigga, and I'm doing this. And you should watch me close me to see if I can do this. In the ways of the caddy, I survive like a pimp. With every girl's weight, perms and crimps. The ever nappy full set to mood. I'll raise my fuel for my firm attitude. Walking through the streets with my war cry spear. Certain folks do what means to when they hear my firm black boots and no spurs attached. But let me give a second, cause I might detach ya. My black boots, if you confuse, I lose my peoples in the word you choose. Provider, what's wrong, my man, what you think? Except my back, so how the hell you just think? And yet you wanna be down, clown. So many wanna be down with the illogical odd. Seven through your K-boy crew. You nest the walls with your ball hair too.
Yeah. Right here. This is the remix on the Remix Morning Show. I go by the name of the Ear Doctor. Please make sure you hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Also go to patreon.com. Become a member over there with Black Power Media so you can get footage that's rare. Yeah. This is what it is. So let's get back to the host with the most right here on the Remix Morning Show.
I'm on a romantic call. I'm talking to my baby down on the yard. Y'all don't remember that part.
Okay, Ear Doctor. I love that mix.
Yeah, Ear Doctor.
He does his thing when he knows he's not here.
He does his thing, period. He does his thing, period.
Well.
Y'all are amazing.
So on my duties on the Hickory Ridge Village Board meeting again last night, our last meeting of the calendar year, we had, well, it didn't really come up in the meeting per se yet, but we've had this email exchange back and forth from the previous meeting around rent control and and again, our board had sent a call to basically cut in half what Calvin Ball, no relation, had offered as a county-wide, Howard County-wide solution to putting a cap on rent increases. But a number of people have, in some cases anonymously, sent me emails and to the board members with references saying, listen, it's not that we're against lower income people. It's not that we want to let people get taken advantage of. But the realities are that rent control has a negative overall impact on the local economy and actually hurts overall diversity in incomes in terms of the affordability of a community. And Kim, that was exactly. So that was exactly what I said. I said, please send me your sources because it just doesn't make sense. So the sources started coming in, and of course they're all Brookings Institute style, CNBC, economic the few I've read.
Tell him, Jared, data for progress or shut the fuck up, man. Sorry.
Well, so that's what. So is that an actual? So the request for me is while I can read these conservative explanations why rent control is bad and find all the flaws in the argument, what I don't have is the correct argument. I don't have the sources yet for the correct argument.
I would try ProPublica. I would try the eviction lab that is based out of Harvard. I think Harvard is doing the eviction lab. They do a lot of stories about renters, renting, etc. No, what you're looking for, that data exists.
Oh, I know it exists. Yeah. I just haven't found it. And I haven't done all the work yet. So I'm actually trying to get some help just for time's sake. I haven't put in the time or the effort. I know it exists. I just don't know. So yes, thank you. So you know what? I'm going to ask you to. I'm just going to hit rewind on this after the show and write all that down.
It's easy. You know ProPublica. Yeah. ProPublica.
Oh, I know, but I'm talking about. Yeah, I won't remember that I know.
He wants the actual link. He wants somebody.
And I would like links and all of that too. But I'll start there, and those are good. That's a good start. And anyone, please send me emails or put it in the chat, and I'll come back. I mix what I like at gmail.com is a good place. You can email me. I mix what I like at gmail.com. And but I said immediately, so I even sent an email, but just before our meeting last night to the woman who sent us some of these citations, and I said, I'm happy we need to debate and discuss this because these are neoliberal, neoconservative talking points. And I mean, they're literally referencing Milton Friedman in some of these pieces, whose art is clearly like, and his language is property owners' rights are being impinged when the federal government or any local government comes in and says there should be rent control. They have every right to charge whatever they want. And when you start doing it, and then they have all these, I can see how if people aren't paying attention,
a foreign language to them, you're speaking a foreign language to them. They're looking at you like you have antennas coming out of your head. If you talk about rent control, or you talk about, or you say something that's opposed to what they see, or what they've been, the tautology that they have is like this is free market economy, or any infringement, as they put it, to stop people who have put in money to build these apartments. How can you expect them not to make a profit?
And that's everything. Come out. Everything in there was the property values of even surrounding areas go up as soon as you get rid of rent control. Because obviously everybody's looking at it from the perspective of venture capital, construction, the people who, they're looking at it from the over, because of course the overall value won't be as high if you limit the amount you can charge people to live there. But once you get rid of that, all the investors, all the construction firms, everybody starts looking hungry because they're like, oh, we can charge anything. We can start getting all the rich folks in here. And then they even had some fancy way of explaining that by rent controlling for lower income folks and then allowing others in other areas of the city, San Francisco was one cited, to de-rent control or unrent control, you end up locking in the inequality and widening the gaps between rich and poor in the city. And of course, we don't want to do that. And of course, we're not going to solve this by getting rid of poverty and income inequality. We're not going to do any of that. So we're just going to move. We want to get rid of the poor people. And that's one way of getting rid of the inequality.
Wow.
You reduce inequality by getting rid of poor people because it is.
That's logic. You not hip to the logic, Jared.
Exactly.
But they both say it like that. That's the thing. Like it's all euphemisms for saying exactly that. Right? How do you eliminate poverty? You move the poor people out.
How are we going to solve Palestine and Israel? We're going to get rid of Palestinians.
Real quick, Jared. I mean, have you all looked at what Montgomery County has done with their rent control stuff? I believe the Montgomery County Council and the county executive, I think they put something on the books that's official now that has capped the rents. Now, to the extent of how good or bad it is, I don't know. But I mean, but it's being done in the region. And also, I think in Arlington, Virginia, very affluent, closed sort of community that is really only zoned for primarily single family homes. They understand that they're at such a deficit for quote affordable housing. They have now voted to rezone Arlington to allow for more multifamily dwelling. It is Arlington. I mean, Columbia, nice, and we talk about Arlington. You feel me? So like, so if Montgomery County, rich as fuck, has done this, and Arlington is doing this, ain't no reason for Howard County to be sitting on his hands.
We did look at Montgomery County, and their version is better than what Calvin Ball put together, and it's better than what we put together. They have a stronger rent control, and including with the articles that were being used to contradict this did not allow for. They also have it on commercial. There's a I can't remember the language. It's a restriction on commercial rent going up as well, and then on new construction, like you can't put rent control on existing property and then just come in and build new stuff and charge whatever you want on those. So Montgomery County has done some. Our proposal isn't even as strong as that because of some of the, I think, resistance and admittedly my own included confusion on the board in terms of some of these details. Because again, I admit a lot of these specifics I'm just really playing catch up on. I mean, the details of local government have never been my thing, and it is a monster to catch all the detail specifics and then all the nuances in these arguments, some of which are very fake. And then here in Columbia, with the veneer of liberalism, it is really difficult. I mean, I think it's like, it's this like, because we don't get the the people that like my man Aaron Brown makes fun of at the public council meetings in Indiana or whatever. We don't get like the overt, Trumpish like. We don't get that kind of. We get the get out style of racism and whiteness. We get the wine sipping. You know what I'm saying? It's very soft spoken. Very well drafted, highly educated. Oh yeah, all the big words get used all the time. All the big words. Everybody's a lawyer. Everybody's worked for this and that. Everybody's making. I mean, we just gave. Oh man, the bonus that we. Everybody's making all this money. It's just all this. Everybody's got all this. And then I'm in there like I don't give a damn what the contractors are making. I don't give a damn what the like. And it's and they're like, oh, no, we have a Brookings study, Jared. We have a CNBC study. And I'm like, no, we need to discuss. So I will continue.
Are you the only Negro on this council?
Oh, I say this all puns and jokes. I mean, I'm the blackest thing that they have ever seen, probably. The brightest blackest, like and on the board, there have been, to be fair, in recent times, there have been a few black men serving on the board who pop up from time to time at these meetings, and one or two black women that come through every so often. But and it's new for me too. These are the whitest spaces I've been in, in my life, probably, or at least since adulthood. I mean, because as an activist, I don't engage these spaces very much. My job. There's not that many white faculty there. I mean, it's a very white space. It's a very affluent space, and it's a very quietly neoliberal space. And and I always do like, and I just always feel like underneath it all is this attitude of, if we're not treating you like the Gazans, you should basically feel like we're not lynching you overtly like we used to. Everybody should chill. Like, I feel like that's the attitude that they all bring to this. It's like, what do you all want? And for here, it's even the poor whites. It's like poor whites. It's like,
to be fair,
Not here.
in Howard County,
Not here.
they did the poor whites dirty early. Because
Yes.
do you remember, Jared, Route 1, right? Running from Laurel or everywhere, but through Laurel up to Jessup, there was a constellation of trailer park, mobile park homes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the whites. The whites lived there. And
Yeah.
Howard County got rid of them mobile park homes fast. I said, poor whites.
The rich whites don't want to be around poor whites almost as much as they don't want to be around black folks. I mean, they build sound walls, they build new communities, they're just like, and then you see it just subtle in these meetings. It's just real subtle. It's like, we're going to let like 5% of you be black. We're going to let like, 3% of you be Latino, and then, we're going to let like 6% of the whites be relatively broke. And that's about it. And
that's always their solution. Their solution is the mixed income apartment complex, right? Which basically means that in their mind, they're going to let, like, if it's 300 units or 50, let's say 50 units, 5 will be for so-called low-income people. And for them, that's like, look how fantastic we are that we've allowed this space for poor people to live next to middle-class people, because it is through this osmosis of living next to middle-class people that they will learn proper behaviors and they will learn how to save, about wealth, about how keeping up with things. This is all the mental picture that they have for themselves. And then just to make sure that they're safe, they make sure within those reserved apartment spaces that there are sunset clauses. So they don't have to be market rate for like 10, 15, 20 years, and then they go to market rate. Or if you are evicted or moved, then once the apartment becomes free, then it too can go to market rate. So normally, even in their neoliberal thinking, they give themselves that out, right? That out of like, oh, no, we'll do this for a while because it's good for the propaganda. It's good for the immediate news press release that we're going to put out. But the plan is we're going to jack these rents up or whatever. And again, homeowners buy in because they see their home value go up, and they want to sell their homes at some place, even if it means they're moving further away from the city because it's not matching what's happening in the core of the city in terms of what the homeowner value is. But they buy in too because there's such an individualistic way of thinking about communities and homes and people's lives, and so they are completely down with, like, we just had a vote in the Pittsburgh Neighborhood Association, which is similar to your Hickory board, where we as community builders participate in Southwest Atlanta, working class, poor black neighborhood. The fight back that we get because we talk about cop city or policing, or we question people who come in. We had like a few weeks ago, this Indian guy came in and said he wanted to change the zoning and update the house for his son. And he wanted to build a house that was going to be $450,000 to build, which means the sell price was going to be much higher than that. We now have houses in this working class black neighborhood that are literally priced at $1 million now.
Shit.
We push one hell of a working class,
right?
We push back, but it's in the middle. Like, it's one of those. It's like pre-formation gentrification. Yeah. So next to that house is the row house that's been there, and so the neighborhood used to be 98% black. Now the neighborhood is 94% black, and then in 5 years it'll be 80-something% blacks. But you can see the changes happening. The neighborhood association president kind of like, you can't tell this man what to do. And this is a black man. You can't tell this man what to do with his house.
Exactly.
And the board is lining up and you're like, he should be able to do what he wants to do. It says like, but people are questioning, well, it's not that simple. Like, and do you really believe this dude is building a house for his son at $415,000 in this black ass neighborhood? His Indian son and his black, like,
don't nobody love their children that much.
It's not for his son. He's here to make his profit, and you're opening the door for it. You're not challenging it. You're not questioning it. So we get the same thing from a different angle of like working class and not so much working class black folks and black folks who may even own property in the neighborhood or in the community who it's like a blind spot. The idea of you challenging the model of anybody can build at any price point they want to, as long as there's someone in the market willing to buy it, then hey, that's how the system is. What's wrong with you? And so many people buy it, they can't even think outside the box. And then again, for them to us, we look like we have horns on our head, that we're like putting fire to the community, that we're burning things down, that we're talking about lawlessness or anarchy. That's all they see. They can't get past the point of even a conversation about, don't you think it's wild that people get to come in here and do that in this neighborhood that was founded and built for by Black folks who were formerly enslaved? A lot of them, they're like, what? Y'all know what you're talking about.
Yeah, all I can say is Harriet Tubman ran through here. We got Harriet Tubman Lane. Don't you want to respect this area a little bit more than that? Let some Harriet Tubmans live around here.
They're like a plaque. A plaque will do us. We can get a plaque.
And that's what we have. There's a street sign and the Harriet and the Tubman Community Center,
which used to be the segregated high school.
That's
in
right.
Howard County. Yes. Yeah.
Which in 30 years will be renamed again. The Trump Center, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, God. For social change.
The Jared Ball Center for Howard County. But the gag is this. I mean, speaking specifically to Columbia, it's like whatever. I don't even know what the rent is in Columbia, but I'm guessing the rent for, let's say, a 2 to 3 bedroom, something that would accommodate a family, is likely on par with whatever the single family house note is, whatever the mortgage is, right? Like,
it's got to be 17, 18 up and up. 17, 1800 a month and up.
Exactly right. So your rent, these working class people that, some in this advisory board are trying to keep out of the community. These people are actually paying in housing what people who own their houses are paying. So it's like, why do you want to keep them out when they're paying the exact amount? Now, the people who are homeowners are likely be able to pay for their mortgage via their salaries, but the working class families, everybody got 2 and 3 jobs and shit, trying to come up with that same 17, 18, 2000. So what's all the resistance?
Yeah, there's so much money floating around and in this community, it just what are we really doing here? That's all. Like what it's not that deep. But yeah, they want, nobody wants poor people, nobody wants Black people, very cordoned off. Columbia is very slick. And the poor working class Black neighborhoods have extra security and dialysis centers, and I mean it's the perfect microcosm, I think Columbia is. So all right, good people. Anything quickly? We're about to wrap up this Tuesday morning, the official Monday morning of the Remix week.
You were asked to boost this, even though I don't know what it is, but I'm doing nice just because the Remixer. Last time, support Cloud and the Peru documentary, and then they have a little thing there for y'all. So if anybody wants to grab that link, see what the documentary is about, please do. For Manny Nile, I can check that out.
Right on.
Ooh,
yes.
cool. Thank you.
Yes. Circulating that Hickory Ridge dollar. That's what we're trying. That's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm trying to do.
It'd be so different if you lived in a different part of which I was from. You keep saying Hickory Ridge, and I'm in 95. Every time you say Hickory Ridge, I'm on Freetown Road walking to the damn Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, and that Taco Bell no longer exists. Neither does the what was Sun whatever bank. Neither does the other bank that wasn't there. Neither does.
What about the old folks' home? Lorien is still there.
Lorien is still there, and I know they're still there because we couldn't afford to put my mother there.
Damn.
Yeah, because that when you got no insurance, you can't get in spots like that. You can't. You don't even gainfully employed family members can't afford that joint. You need generational wealth.
We need to talk. We should have a conversation about that. I think as a platform, maybe we should, maybe not on the Remix Morning Show, but we kind of do need to have a conversation about estate planning and planning for long-term care and all that shit. Because these are conversations that our people, I don't think we talk about it enough. We don't anticipate it. And when the shit come up, we just be stuck looking, crazy. Like, God damn, this is how much? This costs what?
You gotta, yeah,
no,
you're right.
Yeah.
Please give up power of attorney before you go into stages of dementia. That's my 2 cents. Please get it and give it up before it's too late, because afterwards it's just a mess. Sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And then there's so many people who are mistaken about all of these things. Like my relatives, I had a relative that passed away, and his children did not understand. They thought power of attorney was something that happened after you die. And it's like, no.
Oh no.
Right. And look, y'all, these are my bougie, college educated relatives. You feel me? And they didn't fucking know. So So anyway.
Sorry, y'all. This is slightly off, but somewhat similar. It just cracked me the fuck up. HOA president on the way to foreclose on your home because you painted your door the wrong shade of blue.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
I just again, it's just further.
That's
about
very Columbia.
Yeah, about what folks do in terms of the control mechanisms, increasing that value of that home. It's just hilarious to me.
All right. Well, all right, good people. Thanks again for another wonderful Remix Morning Show. Peace to the chat and to my comrades on screen, to Sister Erica off screen, the ear doctor shuttling his children overseas.
Woo!
We'll be back tomorrow. Same time, same place. Peace.
Peace.